What's up? Welcome to the Silver Morning Reset. I am Aaron, the Sober Life Coach. I'm a coach out there and I've been sober for the past 7 years. On this channel, we help you reset, rewire, and reclaim your life from alcohol one day at a time. And I want to help you guys do that today. And I'm going to talk to you about why you feel stuck at work and at home and how we can kind of break out of this drinking habit and get to where you want to go with an alcohol-free lifestyle. If you like the channel, please like, share, and subscribe because we do this every single day. So you don't drink because you're weak. You drink because you're caught in a loop, right? You built success, control, and consistency in every area except this one, right? And the gap between who you are and how you act. That's called the integrity gap. The quiet pain behind the burnout. I lived like this for a long time. I built success. I have a successful speaker. I was doing all these great things. I was like, out there telling people to live their lives, but on the inside, behind the curtain, if you looked at my life objectively and you looked on the inside of my life, you would have saw that my life was falling apart. Quietly, it was falling apart, and these long-term costs that we're going to talk about today we're building up underneath. I didn't hit that rock bottom moment. I didn't lose all my finances. I didn't get divorced, but I was very close to that. And I'm thank God every day that I stopped when I did. I was very close to being physically dependent on alcohol, and that would have taken a lot more effort and a lot more time. And I would have to go to a medical detox and all these things if I didn't stop when I did. And, for a lot of us high performers, these long-term costs and these things we're going to talk about build up underneath because we're just used to getting up and grinding and discipline and getting out and doing it and showing up no matter what. And that's good. That's a great characteristic to have. But when you have something like alcohol in your life where you're drinking too much or you feel like it's a problem in your life, then you're gonna have that little bit of ability to push that to the side. Do it tomorrow. Do it next time. And it's gonna build up underneath and it's gonna be really bad. And eventually you're gonna have one of these moments that people call rock bottom, right? So we don't want to get there. We want to have integrity with ourselves. We want to have the best life we can, but a lot of us are stuck in this Groundhog Day loop, and I know I was. Right? It was there's something triggered you, have a craving, you have a short-term reward, and the invisible costs underneath build up, and then you repeat it over and over again. It's the same day, different drink, right? The illusion of control with a hidden toll. You wake up promising today's different, but by nightfall, that loop resets again, and you start doing it again. That's not failure, that's conditioning. Awareness is the first crack in this cycle. Just to be aware of this. This is kind of the cycle here, this cute little groundhog here. You have a drink, right? You have a trigger, and then a drink, then a short-term reward, the long-term cost, right? Build up underneath. You drink again, you have a trigger, there's a short-term reward. This is kind of the basic drinking loop that people are seeing in their lives. And I was stuck there for 18 years, right? And I'm so glad that I got out of it. I want to help you guys do the same. So what happens is you lose your edge, and it's something I call the edge tax, right? So the edge tax is every shortcut we take with alcohol adds invisible interest underneath, right? Each hangover, each broken promise, each also tomorrow quietly compounds underneath, and eventually this edge tax comes due. And energy, integrity, peace of mind. You get a divorce, and you cannot outrun the debt of disconnection. Every time you numb out you're disconnecting. Every time you use alcohol as a stress reliever, you're disconnecting from yourself. Every time that you spend time with your wife, but you're both drinking together, you're disconnecting. You're missing out on that authentic connection you have. You're missing out on the authentic connection with the kids. Every time you have a hangover, you're missing out on these things. And these costs are building up underneath. And like I said, a lot of high performers, we don't see this until it's too late. And I really want to help you guys see this habit loop and see this edge tax that we're getting over time so that you guys can get to where you want to go. So you guys can live with passion. You guys can go out there and do whatever you're doing, kick ass in business or whatever it is. I really want to help you guys do that. I want to help as many people as I can get there because the more of us that are out there, living purposeful, meaningful, alcohol-free lifestyles, the more people are going to see it and say, hey, maybe alcohol is not something I want to have in my life either. And it's going to be a compound effect. So really hope that you guys are aware of this loop that you're stuck in and we can start moving forward to get out of it. So you're not broken, you can do this, right? You're not diseased, you're not beyond help. You're simply caught in an addictive loop that hijacks your reward system. And when you start seeing the pattern, you start regaining power. And the solution isn't more shame, it's awareness and reset. We don't need more shame. There's nothing wrong with us. We don't need to go out and think that we're an alcoholic for the rest of our lives. We don't need to do that. I'm a shining example of that. I was pretty close to being physically dependent on alcohol. Statistically, I probably shouldn't be able to quit, but I did. I was able to do it. And I was able to do it because I mixed the things I was learning in personal development, habits and mindset and growth and all these things into my alcohol-free lifestyle. And I never looked back. And it's crazy to me that the number one program out there says you're disease, says you're an alcoholic, says that you're never going to change, and it's just such a fixed mindset to me that I really want to break people out of that, and I want to break you out of that pattern. So how are we going to do it? How are we going to get there? That's great, all fun and all that. It's great for me to sit here and say, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, but what are we actually going to do? What are the steps? Well, there's something called the Dare to Be Sober method, right? So Dare to Be Sober stands for disrupt, ask, reframe, execute. Every single day you can use this. You can use this every single time you have a craving. You can disrupt, ask, reframe, execute. Remember dare, okay? And disrupt means notice the moment you reach for relief. Notice that moment you're having a trigger. Notice that moment you're feeling like you need a drink. Stop, take a breath. We have something in the some morning reset called the power pause. Take 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out. Take a sip of water. Just break that pattern, whatever you can do to break that pattern, and ask yourself, what do I really need right now? Sedation or restoration? Do I need stress relief? Do I need anxiety relief? Do I need a connection with my wife? Do I need to have a reward? What is that, right? And then reframe it. Okay, relief isn't in the bottle; it's in the pause. So I'm pausing this, and I'm going to reframe it. Ask yourself, okay, if alcohol is going to give me stress relief, is that actually going to work in the long run? No, because I'm going to be more stressed out tomorrow. If I think alcohol is giving me anxiety relief, is that going to be the best? No, it's going to make me more anxious tomorrow. If I'm using it, maybe you have a lot of guilt and shame, or maybe there's some trauma you haven't dealt with. Is it actually going to heal that? No, it's not. It's going to make that worse. And maybe you need to see therapy or a counselor. Reframe these things in your mind because you see alcohol as a solution. Once you start reframing it, then we can move forward and then execute on a sober action, right? So you can breathe, you can stretch, you can step outside, you can have authentic connection, you can reflect in a journal, you can meditate, you can have mindfulness, you could go and work out, you can have exercise. There's lots of ways to get the dopamine and the rewards that we're looking for from alcohol in our lives naturally. So exercise is a great one, journaling to reflect, mindfulness, authentic connection is great, having a meaningful observing project. These are the 6 sober things that you can put into your life to get you out of this loop, right? Because every loop you see, you weaken it. And every pause you take, you rise, you move forward. Every time you see this loop, like I like to say, I used to love professional wrestling as a child, right? And I still do today, but as a kid, I thought it was great. These guys hate each other and all this stuff. And when I realized it was a TV show that everything was predetermined. It wasn't fake. Obviously, they're hitting each other and, suplex and all that stuff hurts. I've been in a wrestling ring, but it's a TV show. And once I realized that, I was really devastated for a little while, but then I was like, okay, but I couldn't unsee it. I kept watching. I love professional wrestling. I have to suspend my disbelief to see what's going on there. It's the same with alcohol. Once you bring awareness to it, once you bring awareness to those limited beliefs and the things that are happening in your lives, that's where you can start seeing the trick that's going on here, the habit loop and the addictive cycle and all these things, and we can move forward and get through it. So your call to action day is you don't need a bigger goal. You need a morning reset. So start with one win before 8 a.m. tomorrow. Remember, presence over pouring, clarity over chaos. Before tomorrow morning, just to have one win. Maybe wake up and reflect on what your day is going to look like. Maybe try to track a little bit of a few of your triggers tomorrow. Try to see what's been triggering you and use that dare to be sober framework to kind of get through the next craving. Whatever it is, take an action and do that before 8 a.m. because I'm a true believer that the way you start your day is the way your day is going to go. So have that morning clarity, have that morning routine, start building that up over time, and eventually you're going to get to where you want to go. So thank you so much for letting me be your coach. You got in on this video went a little bit long, but I really wanted to stress the fact that you guys can do this, right? You guys can move forward with your life. You don't have to feel broken or ashamed. You're just caught in a habit loop with an addictive substance layered on top. And we talk about what the addictive layer is as well here. But yeah, you can do this. And I really, really, really want to help you guys do that. And if you really serious about setting up your morning before the 8 a.m., every month we have a sober, excuse me, every month we run a sober morning reset. Challenge is 30-day challenge, reset, rewire, reclaim your life. We talk about these cycles, we talk about belief traps, we talk about all the things that are holding you back to get you to where you want to go. And we kind of reset your mindset, rewire your habits, and then start reclaiming your life one day at a time. So if that's something interesting to you. The next one will be open up in November. So keep an eye out for that. I'll put a link in the description once it's available so that we can get you guys going on that. Anyways, guys, have yourself some meaningful day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Life is so much better on the sober side, my friends. Stay sober and remember to dare to be sober.